Good morning, everyone. So, in the last class, we are trying to discuss with multi-threading concepts here. So, inside this particular multi-threading concepts, we identified the drawbacks in process-based multi-threading. So, and we discussed with thread basis advantages here, and we are trying to work on the thread basis applications here. So, to create a thread, now we are having two options here. So, what are the two options we are going to create here? First, we are going to implement one interface called runnable, and another one. So, we created with the thread class here. Another one we created with the thread class here. So, these are the two ways we can create a thread. Getting the point. So, we created like with the two ways here, and finally, we identify some of the methods are available inside this particular thread class. Getting the point. So inside this particular thread class, we identified some of the methods, like what exactly the each and every method is performing here. Okay, and so today we are going to discuss how we can create multiple threads here, because in the last class we identified only how we can work on the one main thread as well as one child thread here. Right. So today we are going to work how we can work on the multiple threads how we can create here. Right. Let me see with a simple example here how we can work with multiple threads creation here. So to create a multiple threads here, now what I need to do? So first I need to create MUL thread, and is nothing but multiple threads. So multiple threads extending our thread class. Right. So whenever it is extending the thread class, now what we can do? We can access whatever the thread class properties we are having here. Right. Now here, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to work with the name of the thread as well as thread class. These are the two sections I'm creating as a variables, and later now what I will do with this particular constructor, within this particular constructor I'm going to create a threads here. Now you can see here I want to specify name here. Here I want to specify name here. So name is equals to like this dot name is equals to name here. And later, now what I need to do, here I need to call with the super keyboard. And now what I'm specifying here, name here. Whenever we are specifying as a name here, now what happens internally, the super class constructor is going to call. What is the super class constructor is going to call here? So what is the super class constructor is going to call here? Thread class constructor is going to call here. Getting the point. Now you can see, so while calling this particular constructor, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to specify the name of the thread. Getting the point. While calling this particular constructor called MUL thread, we are specifying the name of the thread here. Getting the point. And finally, we are calling the super class constructor, and we are calling the one more method, something called start method. So what it will do, this particular start method? So it's going to start the new thread here. Getting the point. It's going to start the new thread here. And finally, so here, basically, this is the entry point. Public void run method. Because whenever we are trying to work with any, whenever we are trying to work with any new thread here, now what we can do? So we need to create a run method. So inside the run method only, the code, whatever the code we want to execute, the code we need to define here. Right. So let's see. So we'll copy. So what we have used previously. Here, so this is our run method code. Now I'm trying to copy the same code like what we used previously. Okay. Now I implemented run method. Internally, what exactly we are doing here? So we are calling, we are creating one loop here. So this particular loop is going to repeat 5 times here. And between this loop here, now what we are doing here? the current thread we are stopping here. The current thread we are making sleep here until the 1000 milliseconds here. Getting the point. After completion of this particular 1000 milliseconds here, what happens internally? So it will try to execute here. Okay, so this is all about the run method here. And later, so this is not a main thread. It is a child thread here. It is a child thread here. Okay, so finally, now what we can do, here we can define the one more message. System.out.println. Here, name. Name is nothing but name of the thread here. Cutting the point. So the particular name of the thread is existing here. So now you can see after try and catch block, so we are printing one more message here. Okay, so this is all about the run method here. Now what we are doing internally, we are creating one loop here, and we are stopping the current thread, and we are printing the I value, and the same way. So run method, what is the current thread information here? So just we are printing inside the run method the current thread information. Okay, now we created, sorry, let me copy and save this particular class. Now what I want to do, here I want to create a main method. Now you can see here I'm trying to work with the main method here. Okay, so whenever we are trying to work with the main method, now what we can do, so we can work on, like we need to call the constructor here. So what is the constructor we need to call to create a new thread here? So this is the name of the, like this is the constructor we need to call with a thread name parameter here. With a thread name parameter. So now observe here. Here I want to specify so one thread, second, and third. Now you can see how many threads I am trying to create internally. So 3 threads here. Getting the point. So these are the 3 threads I am trying to create here. So first one, second, and third one. So finally, we are creating internally 3 threads, and with the main thread, so we are going to have 4 here. Okay. Now observe here, I'm trying to work with the try block here. So inside this particular try block here, I want to wait the current thread here. Getting the point. I want to wait the current thread here. Now you can see thread dot sleep here, and here so 10,000 milliseconds I given here. Getting the point. So the sleep time I given as a 10,000. So why I'm giving here? So to execute these 3 threads here. To execute this particular 3 threads I'm giving, because I'm trying to sleep the main thread here. Okay, now we need to see like how exactly the outputs we are going to print here whenever we are trying to work with so multiple threads here. Getting the point. Here it is a catch block. So interrupted exception EX. Getting the point. Interrupted exception EX. So internally system.out.println. System.out.println, and here main thread is interrupted here. this particular main thread is interrupted. I'm closing the catch block, and here now what I'm trying to write here, system.out.println. So inside this particular println, I want to define main thread existing. Right. Finally, so we close the main method and we close the class level brace. So this is very important example we are discussing here. Basically, how we can work with multiple threads here. So whenever we are trying to work with multiple threads here, so how exactly these particular programs are going to executed here. Right. Now, let me copy this particular class, because with the name of the class name we saved the class and we need to compile the code. So to compile here, now what we can do, javac dot multithread dot java. Okay. So basically,
Java C, we gave only Java.
so where you are giving?
Here, Java C, right? While compiling, we gave only Java.
Okay. And basically, so error rate is related to this super keyword, and I missed to add the compilation command javac. So javac multithread dot java. Right, it is compiled successfully. And multithread. Now observe here, so value zeros. If you observe here, okay, so first we'll understand here how this particular exam solve working internally. So these are the I values. So I value 0. So I value 0 is nothing but where it is coming here. Now we, this is only right. So here we define the I values here. Here we define the I values here. For the 3 threads, correct the pun. So the I value 3, it's printing this particular printer method is printing 3 times here. Correct the pun. If you observe the output here, this particular I value is printing 3 times 0 here. Getting the point. Now what you understand here? So this particular run method is called 3 times here with a different threads here. Getting the point. So if you observe carefully here, this particular run method is calling 3 times with a different threads here. So whenever we are calling the different threads here, now we are going to get as a I value 0. Now the I value we are going to get as a 0. So if you observe, the same thread is calling 3 times here, this particular I value will change here. This particular I value will change here because it needs to print 0, 1, 2. Getting the point. But now the loop we are not repeating with the current thread. The loop is repeating with different threads here. So how many threads we are having? This particular loop is repeated with different threads. Those are 3 threads here. Right. Now after this, so initially the loop is printed with a 0. Now you can observe inside the run method. So if you see carefully, the current thread is printing differently. The current thread is printing because the thread we created as a first 1, second 2, and third as a 3. But now you can see, so this particular line, whenever we are calling the current thread here, so which thread we are getting here? Third one. But now how we created here? Now you can see the order we created as a 1, 2, 3, but whenever we are trying to find out the current thread information, we are getting the order is different here. The order we are not getting like whatever the order we are expecting here. Getting the point. Now what you are understanding here? So whenever we are trying to work with this particular multi-threading example with the multiple threads here, so we cannot understand here, so how we are going to create a thread, the same way the threads are going to executed or not. Same way the threads are executed or not. So this is a simple example here. We cannot expect here how we are going to create the particular threads object here. The same way the threads are not going to create here. The threads are not going to work internally. Okay, so this is an example. So first the third one is executed, for later the first thread is executed, and last one, the second one is executed here. Getting the point. Now you can see after printing the I value 1, now you can see the output here. So this is the different here and this is the different here. This is the different here, this one is the different here. So basically now what I want to provide information. So based on the thread scheduler, these threads are going to execute it internally. Even though we are creating some order, so we cannot expect the same order here. Okay, so this is I want to provide. Now you can see for the I value 1, again we are getting 3 threads here, right? So 1 thread and the second one, third one. And whenever we are moving into the I value 2, now you can observe here we are not getting the I value. So at a time, the output we are not expecting, we did not get the I value. At a time, the I value is not yet printed here. So between we are printing the current thread information here. Now what you understand here? So our I value is printed as a 2. So whatever the thread is printed I value, we are printing the current thread information here. We are printing the current thread information. So that is 1. And later, so third thread is executed. Later, the second one here. Getting the point. Now you can see, so here, 1 thread again. So later, we are getting 3, second one. Now finally, now you can observe here, 1 thread is terminated because it's coming out of the run method, and I value is printed as a 4 for the second thread, and last one, third thread. So all are the 3 threads are existing from our run method. And finally, a main thread here. Getting the point. So if I'm removing this particular section of code, now if you see, if I'm going to comment out this particular section, now what happens internally? So this particular main thread, we cannot expect here when this particular main thread is going to execute here. Now, observe, let me compile one more time and execute here. Now you can observe, so first main thread is executing here. The first main thread is executing here. Later, the remaining threads here. Remaining, the child threads we created, 3 threads has a child thread here. So those child threads are executing here. Getting the point. Now you can expect here the output here. So second one is executed. Finally, first one, and first to third one is executed. Getting the point. So how many times you are going to run here? We cannot expect the order of this particular threads here. We cannot expect the order of this particular threads here. So those threads are going to create based on the thread scheduler here. So this is a way we can work with multi-threading. Getting the point. We can work with multiple threads creation here. Right. So any questions regarding this particular multiple threads example?
Um, Actually, piece of code is getting reviewed by each thread, right? Okay. So if we mention code block within the run method, so that only threads will take piece of code and execute.
Yes. So basically here, whenever we are going to call this particular start method here, so internally thread is going to call run method. And whenever we are calling the run method, we need to define the code within this particular run method. From the run methods only, the threads are going to start. So if we observe, so previously also we identified the main thread. Let's see if I'm going to put breakpoint here. So debug as our Java application. Okay. Okay. So basically I'm trying to show the run method information, but we are not seeing here. We'll see whenever we are going to get to the run method information here. What I'm trying to providing the information here in the debug, so we can see the call stack here. From the where it exactly the main method is calling and every information we can find here. But for the current example, we could not get the run method information here. Okay. So maybe we can see in our upcoming examples here. Getting the point. So basically, what I want to provide the information for any thread here. So when we are trying to work with the main thread, or whenever we are trying to work with the child thread here, what happens internally? So this particular main method is going to call from the run method. So which is we define inside of a JVM here. Getting the point. So same way, when we are trying to work with the custom threads, these are the custom threads we created here. So 1, 2, 3. And here, when we are trying to work with the thread concepts here, we need to define the run method. So inside the run method, whatever the code we are going to define, so those code only is executed here. But now observe, if I'm defining here, now if I'm going to compile one more time, now you can see, so we cannot define the println method outside. Now what we need here, we need to define the one method here. Now observe, it's compiled successfully. Now I want to execute here. But what you understand here, we did not call this particular test method. Getting the point. So we did not call this particular test method. So if I'm going to call this particular test method, now what we need here, again we need this particular object here. So otherwise what we can do, we can call the static method. and here. So we have a one more option to call the test method like this. But whenever I'm trying to run here, this particular test is running within the which thread here? This particular test I am going to call here, but based on the which thread I am going to call here?
Main thread.
Main thread, right? But here, so if we want to call, so whatever the threads we created as the child threads here, now what we can do? So this particular piece of code we need to call from here. We need to call from here. Getting the point. Now, so instead of calling the main thread, now what I'm doing here, based on the child threads we are going to call. Now you can observe, again I'm trying to compile, I'm executing here. So here, now you can understand here, outside run method, getting the point. The test method is calling or not? Now what you are understanding here? So basically, for an example, how we are going to create a main method, getting the point, how we are going to work with the main method to run our application. Same way, to run our any application within the thread here, now what we need here, we need to define the run method. So from the run method, now you can call whatever you want to define here. Getting the point. So how we are creating with the run method, how we are calling this particular test method. So this particular test method is going to call based on the current thread, and here we can define the whatever the information we want to, right? So here we can work with inside this particular run method, we can work with the conditional block, or we can work with the switch cases, or we can work with the object creation, getting the point, or we can work with the overloading methods, right? We can define the overloading method, overloading constructor. So those information we can call inside this particular run method. So the calling, cutting the point. So the calling we can make inside this particular run method. So that, so as of now, whatever the example we run inside this particular main method, so we can convert it all the example with the child class, child thread, cutting the point, or we can call it as a custom thread. But here the difference only, before we call the information from the main method, now we are going to call within the run method. So this is only the difference here. But only the difference here, previously we connected with the main thread, now we are going to connect with our custom thread. Right. So this is we need to understand here. Okay. So we need to understand some of the methods which are available inside this particular thread class here. So previously, like in the last class, we already identified so set name and something called the current thread information, sleep method information, and along with these three, we are having some other methods. So those methods called is alive as well as join method. Getting the point. Now we need to understand here. So what is exactly the purpose of these two methods here? So what are the two methods we are going to discuss here? The first method is alive. Basically, whether the current thread is terminated or still in the live status. Getting the point. So how we can check here? Whether the current thread is terminated or not, what we can do? We can call this particular method. On top of this particular current thread object, we can call, so that we will get to know whether this particular thread is in the terminated state or current state. Okay, so other one, join method. So this particular join method, what it will do, like we need to understand the behavior of this particular join method here, and we can call it as the purpose of this particular join method. So basically, whenever we are going to make the current thread, like based on the current thread object, whenever we are calling the join method, what it will do, so it's going to sleep until the termination of the the current thread here. Getting the point? So observe carefully, sleep method is different here. So what inside the sleep method, how many milliseconds time we are going to specify? So after the milliseconds time, the particular thread is going to sleep here. But here, when we are calling the join method here, now what we are doing here? So this particular join method is going to wait until the thread is going to terminate here. Getting the point? So indirectly, now what we are doing is we are trying to stop the current thread here. Basically, so we are having the three threads here. We are having this particular three threads here. Now what we are going to do, so based on this particular three threads object, we are going to call join method. Whenever we are calling the join method, now let's see. So if you observe obj1, so here I want to define as obj2 and obj3. But now what we need to understand here, so these are the child threads object here, and here obj1 dot join method. Whenever I'm trying to make this particular, getting the point, join method, now what happens internally? So this object is nothing but the current thread. The current thread to until the current thread termination. So this particular join method will wait here. Getting the point. So this is very important here, because internally what we are doing is we are trying to terminate the current thread here. Internally we are trying to terminate the current thread. So we'll see the simple example on this particular is alive method as well as join method here. Okay, same example I want to work on this particular example here only. Let's say I'm going to create this particular three threads here and system dot out dot println, and here let me define thread 1 is, so here whether this thread is alive or not we want to understand here. Okay, here now what we can do, so obj, so basically obj1 dot is alive. Cutting the term. Now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to check whether the current thread is still it is in the live status or it is a terminated status, or what we can do. So here with the help of this particular method we can understand here second and the third. Okay, let me compile here. So it's compiled successfully and I'm executing here. Now what you're understanding here? Now you can see this particular three threads are in the live status because it is a Boolean method. So is alive when it is a Boolean method, it will try to return the true or false. So if it's returning true, now what we can understand here? The current thread is in the live status. It is not yet terminated. Getting the point. So whenever it is returning false, now we can think, so the particular thread is terminated. Right. Now, so here we need to understand here. After this, now what I want to understand here, inside this particular section, okay, first I want to provide, so join method information. Now you can see join is a overloaded method. Getting the point? Join is a overloaded method. Now again is trying to throw interrupted exception. So if it is throwing interrupted exception, now what we can do? So what is the syntax we need to follow here? So this particular join method we need to define inside the try catch, or we can rethrow this particular exception here. Getting the point? Now I'm trying to handle inside this particular try catch. But one more information we need to see. So join method is a static method. So join method, it is not a static method. It is a final method. So can you please let me know? So whenever we are making this particular method as a final, so what are the restrictions we are going to have? Getting the point? How exactly the join method is going to perform here? Any idea? Because we identified in the previous example with this particular final behavior. On top of the methods also. Yes, tell me.
If we define with final keyword, we cannot overload this method.
Overload or override?
Yes, sorry, override in other class.
Okay. So because you see, we already just now we understand here. So join is already overloaded in the same class here, but all the methods are final. Now we'll see the synchronization. Now you can observe. So this is a method we are discussing, and one more log here. Now you can see. So each method having different purpose here. So we are providing milliseconds here. Again, this method also having the synchronize and the final. Only this method will not have any synchronized keyword here. Okay, the remaining two methods are having the synchronized. So we'll see how exactly the remaining two methods, like with the synchronized keyword, how exactly the methods are going to work. Okay, so back to here. Now we understand here this particular final method we cannot override into the any other classes here. Okay, so back to here. Now it is not a static method. If it is not a static method, how we can access this particular method? With the help of this particular object creation only. Now we can observe we cannot call with a class name here. We can call with the obj1 dot join method. I'm not specifying anything here. So simply with the default value. So what is the default value? The join method is going to take 0. 0. Getting the point? So 0 milliseconds here. How I'm explaining 0? So basically, if you observe, this is the join method we are calling. But internally, what is the value the system is passing here? Join with the 0 here. Getting the point? 0 milliseconds here. Okay. So back to here. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm trying to call the join method on the each thread here. So I'm trying to call the join method on the each thread. So after this, again, I'm trying to print this particular, again, I'm trying to call is alive method here. So to find out whether this particular current thread still is in the live status or it is terminated here. Getting the point? Now observe, I'm trying to compile one more time and I'm executing here. Now you can see what you are understanding here. So the last 3 statements here. Last 3 statements here. Now we need to understand very carefully here. So this particular is alive method is returning false here. So previously, like this particular is alive method is returning true, whenever we're trying to call the at first time. Again, the last time we are calling, but the method is returning as a false. Now what you are understanding here? Basically, the join method, what is doing internally, is trying to terminate the current object here. Getting the point? Is trying to terminate the current object. So otherwise we can call it as it will wait until the current thread termination. Getting the point? So the join method is going to wait until the current thread termination here. So now you can observe, so with the help of this particular join method, now I'm going to specify 1000 milliseconds here. Otherwise, we can work with 5000. So I want to connect with different values. Here I'm specifying each thread with a different milliseconds time. Now we need to understand here how this particular example is going to work. So I compile successfully. Now I'm running the same example. So even though if you specify here, now what happening internally? All the is alive methods are returning false. Now what you understanding here? All the threads are into the terminated. Getting the point? Now we need to understand here. So this particular method. So directly I'm not calling this particular method with 0. So here I'm specifying, we are calling the join method 3 times here. We are specifying here the different milliseconds here. Now what you understand here? So milliseconds is greater than 0. Now here we need to check whether this particular is alive method is returning true or false. So if it is returning true, now what happens internally? So we are checking the time here, right? And this is the delay here. And now internally, what is the method it's calling here? So it is calling wait method. Getting the point? So internally, it is calling the wait method with whatever the milliseconds time we given. And so once the wait method is called here we are working with do while loop here. Here they are checking whether this particular the current thread in the live status or not. And here they are making the subtraction here. They are making the subtraction here. Getting the point? Now what you understand here, we'll see the same example in our Eclipse IDE so that we'll get to know how exactly the internal join method is checking. Okay. So where is our class here? So this is the class. Let me copy into project directory, and I want to work with a different package here. So here I'm trying to work with in the LinkedIn profile. So add the particular package information. Now here, where I want to provide the breakpoint here, I want to put a breakpoint in the line number 37. Now you can observe, yes, you can see how many threads he created. So previously, just you understand here, 3 threads are created here. Now we need to debug the join method. Now you can see, so just now we discussed about the join which is expecting milliseconds here. So milliseconds greater than 0. So it's returning true here. And now basically this particular multi-threading application. So if we are going to debug the code, we cannot expect the output here. The proper output we cannot expect here, because what we are doing internally, we are trying to stop all the threads here. right? For stopping, like debugging the output, we are going to different. Without the debug application, we are going to get an output different here. Getting the point? Because based on the, as I explained here, thread scheduler is going to provide the information to the each thread here. But here, what we are doing here, we are trying to stop this thread. Getting the point? So explicitly, we are stopping the thread to find out the what is happening internally. Okay, now you can see this particular isAlloy method is returning false. Now what you understand here? Whatever the current thread we are running, the thread is terminated. Getting the point? The current thread is terminated. Now we cannot move into this particular if condition. So it is entirely coming out of the join method. So now I'm calling, sorry, all the threads are completed. Okay, we'll try with one more time here. But here you can see, let me otherwise put a breakpoint here. Now you can observe totally how many threads object we are having here. So this is one thread, second, third, and fourth. Including our current thread, we are having 4 threads here. We are having 4 threads. Now you can see, so the third one is trying to run for loop, and the first one also is trying to run the for loop, and the second one also is trying to run the for loop here. And this is our main thread. Getting the point? Now you can see, I'm trying to work with the current thread here. I'm trying to work with the current thread that is called main thread. Now you can see still the 3 threads are in the waiting states because we stopped at our breakpoint here. Now, what is our milliseconds time? 5000 we given. Now we need to check whether the thread is available or not. Sorry. Now it is in the live status because these threads are in the not at all method here. Okay. Observe. So what is the start time? So this is the time we are getting here, and we are getting delay. And now what you understand here, wait method. So wait method is trying to execute here. Now we need to check here whether this thread is still it is returning true. Okay. Now here milliseconds we understand as a 5000. We are trying to work with here we are calling so delay. So 35,495. Finally, we are getting the time as the delay time 35,495 milliseconds here. Right. So based on this particular logic here, we are getting some delay amount here. Now you can see we are accessing the amount into delay. Now, second thread. Again, we need to check. So active, nano time. Now same time we are going to get. And now you can see what is the delay? 8,000. So it will wait until 8,000 milliseconds here. Right. So it's waited until 8,000 milliseconds. So it's checking here whether this particular isAlloy method is returning true or false. It's returning true. And along with this, now what we are doing here, we are checking the condition. Now the while loop is returning false here. Why it is returning false? We need to understand here. So basically here, so we are expecting here, now you can see the milliseconds and time we are getting minus here, minus 41,334. So whenever checking this time here, but what is the final condition? So greater than 0, greater than 0, because we got a minus value. So it will become false here. Why it is returning false here? We are having AND condition. So now you can see inside this particular conditional block, we are trying to initialize the value. So this is also a very important section we need to understand here. Now you can see, so we are doing some subtraction between this particular value, getting the point. So we are getting some subtraction value we are assigning into this particular delay. Again, we are checking greater than condition. So see how many operations we are checking here. So first we are working with subtraction, right? Again, the second one we are checking the initialization, and third one we are checking greater than condition. So three operations, or we can call it as the three conditions we are making inside the single line of statement here. So this is the way we can define the code. Again, we can call it as these are the code we are going to call it as a readable code. Now, the while loop is returning false. So if it is returning false, we cannot repeat one more time. So it's backing into the last one. So we are pausing as 10,000 milliseconds and delay wait. It will wait 10,000 milliseconds here. Now you can see. So after completion of this particular 10,000 milliseconds only, the cursor is coming to the while block. Getting the point. Now inside the join, now what we need to understand here. So whenever we are specifying the milliseconds time here, whenever we are specifying the milliseconds time here, now what we need to understand here. So internally we are calling the wait method. The wait, it's going to wait whatever the time we given here. Whatever the time we specified here. Now we need to check whether the while loop is returning true or false. It's returning false. So it cannot repeat one more time. So it's backing. The status are in the true, but the main thread is stopping here. Now you can observe the main thread is not available. Main thread is not available. So now you can see this is the second thread, first thread, and the third one. Now you can see this is not coming. Only the three threads are available. Second also completed. One, two, three, all are completed. All are completed here. So just for understanding what is happening internally, at one time we can put a breakpoint. We can check the condition. Getting the point. But now, so without the breakpoint, we cannot expect what is the current output we got, because now you can see first time and second time we got this particular is alive method returning true. But now without the breakpoint here, getting the point. So without the breakpoint, if I'm going to run, so this particular output is different. Right. This particular output is different here. So this is about the is alive method as well as join method here. Right. So we need to understand the internal flow of execution. So how exactly the example is working here. Any questions regarding this particular join method as well as is alive method? Okay. So we need to move one important concept here, thread priorities here. Getting the point. So we identified here, we are having three priorities here. What are the three priorities we are having here? So first one is min priority, and second one is non priority, and third one we identified here max priority here. We are having three priorities here. So we need to check with the three priorities how exactly so it's going to work. So as I explained here, this particular priorities are going to work based on our thread scheduler. Getting the point. So see, so each and every thread will have a communication based on the priorities and the thread. So once the priority is identified, getting the point. Once the priorities are identified, what happens here? So internally, the threads are going to get more CPU time based on the priority here. Getting the point. Now, what you understand here, the priority is having the max priority. So max priority is going to get the CPU time more here, because whenever we are trying to run our application, what happens internally? So based on the thread scheduler, internally CPU time also is going to occupy it here. Getting the point? So this is also important here. Right. So based on the priority, the CPU time is going to change. Okay. Now we need to understand the set priority method as well as what are the default priorities here. Now let's see here inside the thread class here. Where is our thread class? In the previous section we identified here the thread priorities, but still we need to understand. So where is the thread priorities here? Look, now you can see. So these are the three section which is going to provide the priority here. So why we are making the final here as well as final and static here. So what is the behavior here, static and final? So can you please let me know?
I think it's a one-time initialization if we declare final, so that nobody can change min priority variable value. Okay, so that is final. Static means without declaring the object, so we can directly call this name variable.
Where? So directly we can call this particular variable called non priority, min priority and max priority. Getting the point. So observe carefully here. So basically here what I want to provide here in our real-time application. So we will call it as some constant values here, right? So these values we are going to use entire application. So if you observe, for example, in the banking application, so we are going to have different rates on the different loan sections here. Getting the point. And here, whenever we are going to have the rate section is a constant here. Now what we can do in our application, we can define the rates information as like this here. Getting the point. So public we need to specify because the entire application with the different packages we are going to access this particular variable, and we are going to work with without creating a object, and this particular value we are not going to change. So those we are going to make as a final, and we can define whatever the data type based on our requirement. We can change the data type here, and this is the name of the data type, and what is the value here. Getting the point. So this is all about the simple example where we are going to work with the real-time application. So to provide the constant value, right? Whenever the rate is going to change, now what we are going to do? We'll come back to the here. We'll change the rate only one time here. Getting the point. So now same way in our third class we define the three priorities here. Right. So using these particular three priorities is how we are going to work. For the min priority, the CPU time is going to, like the CPU time is occupied with the less compared to our max priority here. Getting the point. So everything is going to take care of the scheduler here. Okay. The scheduler concept is implemented in Java. By default, it is available. We don't want to take care of more information on the scheduler because whenever we are providing the priority, so based on the priority, scheduler will provide the CPU time, and not only this, and whenever we are going to execute any program, scheduler will check whether it is a max priority thread or it is a min priority, it is a non priority thread. So whenever it is a max priority, it will give you the high priority to execute first. And the point, even though a max priority that will be lost, but internally the schedule is moved as a first execution because it is having highest priority. So this is going to take care of the schedule. How we need to understand here how we can work with how we can provide the custom priority here. Right. We are having So this is the internal the implementation code of the set. You can see this is also final method. This is also final method. Now this is the priority we are going to provide. So for example, if I'm going to provide as a here. Now we need to think what are the way. So that object here and to access it. So what are the obviously we need to understand here. So it is a different security related on the second point. So it is a security method and whether so it particular security manager. But now so we are going to provide the new priority uh, okay. Now what can happen? We are going to get a so in so just example my
Hello, sir. Actually, your voice is breaking from last 5 minutes. We could not able to get your voice properly.